Welcome back to the channel, RC enthusiasts. This is Rev Kev, back with another one in the Ridge Racer U4 series. This truck is by Rock Hobby / FMS. In this video, I'm going to talk about the sway bar link problem that is somewhat commonly known with this truck, and I'm going to tell you what I did to fix it. I'm pretty confident this is going to be a fix that will last and is borderline free. I say that because you do need a couple of things and you do have to have a couple of tools. And this can be easy or harder depending on your skill level and tool availability. Let's just jump right into that and we'll talk about what the problem is / hopefully was, and then what I did to fix it. So people with this truck is fairly new to the market in the US, and people kind of know it to be, make some more room on this bench, know it to be fast, durable, and fun. And in my experience, it's been all three of those. Also affordable when you compare it to other offerings of a similar speed capability and size and build quality. But no RC, no matter what kind of research and development they put into it or who makes it, none of them come perfect. We're all going to play with them in different ways. We're all going to have fun with them in different environments. Like, some people are never going to send these things super high. They're never going to really put them to the test. They're just going to enjoy the slower scale stuff, and that's just fine. Some people are going to send these to the moon like it's an X-Max or a 6S Creighton EXP. It's neither of those things. My use case for this truck is going to be, like I said in other videos, more scale driving, more just have fun with it. I'm not going to test its limits like some people do, which is totally fine. But you know, I have to buy all these myself, so I prefer not to just break them to see how much abuse they can take. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I am going to talk about is what I have done that I think will make the rear link, sway bar link, stop popping off. So if you watched other videos on this and you've watched the ones so far in my playlist series on this truck, you'll know that this link here and over here, they tend to want to pop off these ball joints. So let me put that one in the frame right there, that one and that one. So what seems to be happening is, as the truck suspension cycles up into itself, play in the sway bar, the actual spring right here, right? That's like a U shape. It goes up, goes across, and then comes back out. That play left and right is allowing these balls and these links to not stay optimally aligned. And you can kind of see right now it looks pretty good on both sides, but because this sway bar spring portion could move left and right, that takes these out of alignment just ever so slightly, which wouldn't be that big a deal, except under like full compression, these links get pushed all the way up in here, all the way up in here, and these ball joints hit the cage up here, like all the way up here. They hit the cage, and then they get turned when they smack into the cage. They get turned out, essentially prying the ball joint out of the link. So I mean, I guess just like a shoulder joint gets dislocated, that's what's happening with these. So what I did to fix this is two very simple things. Number one, I used this. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can use a file, right? You can get a file. These are Walmart. They work. And you're going to file a flat spot into the link itself. I'm going to flip this over so you can see it better. So whether you use a file or you use a grinding wheel like I did, this is what you gotta do. Let me zoom in here so you can see it. Now, they're both in frame. You'll see this shiny spot here and this shiny spot here. And you see the grub screw that tightens the ball joint onto the spring portion of the sway bar. I just round with the power tool a flat spot. Doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to go like halfway down or anything. You just need to create a flat spot. This screw, the scrub screw, to locate onto that will help these joints, these ball joints, stay flat in relation to the spring. That helps. Now, realizing that the spring itself can still move left and right, this is not the only thing you need to do. The other thing I did, which I talked about in an earlier video, I'm going to show you right now, is you'll notice that here and here I got a bunch of zip ties. What these are doing, this zip tie, well, let me show you on this one. This zip tie is running north and south, right? It's running this direction that my tool tip is going. Running that direction on the outside of this connection link, like where the spring itself mounts to the cage. And then there's one over here doing the same thing. So they're essentially squeezing the spring on either side of this mount, stopping the movement left and right. Now, the only reason that works is because this zip tie is in the corner over here, and it cannot slip further that way because of the link, and it can't slip further that way because I have another zip tie, a third zip tie, it's 3 per side, that are linking this inner zip tie, or the outer zip tie, and the inner zip tie together like that, stopping the outer and the inner from separating from each other. So that way, this is the most important one, this outer one, because it's right here next to the bend. So and you do that on both sides, and then it stops this whole mechanism from being able to shift left and right, and then cause these to be either here or here, like they're moving and hitting the cage further in, down there. So is the two things so far. Now the third thing, which you've probably already noticed, is I took closed cell foam, which is what this is. So if you've heard closed cell foam and open cell foam terms before, that just means this is closed cell. It's like this. Let me zoom you all back out. Closed cell foam, it doesn't really absorb water. It's not like a sponge. Open cell is more like a sponge. It will absorb water, and it's way more squishy and more absorbent, and it's just less durable. Closed cell foam is what you get a lot of times with your parts packaging for RC parts, like Traxxas. Basically all of their parts come, like the aluminum parts, come inside of this foam. This particular piece of foam here, I think it came with an X-Max that they give you so you can pad your batteries, and that's what I use this stuff for a lot of the times. I use it in this truck as well to protect these soft packs from getting beat up, especially when the battery straps are too long. So you'll need some of this, and you'll see that that's what this is. All I simply did was line it up in here, took a little measurement, cut it, and now I have a piece that's that big. And all I did was, once you have your piece, you're going to make a hole through it somewhere around the center, so centered left and right, up and down in the center, and then run a zip tie through it, and then zip tie it. The zip tie is running in the middle of this through that hole that we drilled, and then it is zip tied to the cage right here. Long story short, what that does is it prevents the up travel. In other videos, I think the last video I did, I talked about the problem being too much up travel. So it needed bump stops. Well, nobody makes bump stops for this. So in effect, what I have done is made a bump stop for the center axle that just hits a piece of foam, which is zip tied to the cage. Before this was here, this would just smack into the spare tire anyway. So by limiting the rear travel upward into the cage and isolating the movement of these links left and right by doing the zip tie mod, and by drilling or grinding a flat spot into the sway bar spring portion, so the grub screws can actually get a good bite on it. Because before it was round. I don't know why they didn't make a flat spot here. If you look at Traxxas UDR, the sway bars have a flat spot in them to get this effect that I've created here. I don't know why they didn't do that. Probably cost savings, but this is fairly easy to do, and all you really need is a file. But if you have power tools, all the better. It'll be a 5-minute job. So all that to say, I think this is going to solve the problem of hard landings where this ball joint gets forced to cant inward, and then this gets peeled off the end because it was too much up travel. This hits the cage, gets pushed that way, and this gets peeled off. I really think this is going to work. Obviously, I'm going to test it. It's going to rain for the next several days, so I won't be able to do that. I am going to have a speed test coming too. Again, weather pending. So while the weather sucks, I'm trying to give you guys good videos to reference. If you have one of these and it's raining and you can't go play with it, you can do this. This stuff, you can find this stuff everywhere. You could probably make this out of a number of things, but this closed cell foam is kind of awesome. That's why I like when I get RCs that have it, or parts that come packaged in it, I never throw it away because it's pretty handy stuff. And so if you have that and some zip ties, which again, those are super cheap, and if you're in this hobby, you probably already have zip ties. So I'm not going to drag this video out too long. I just wanted you guys to see what I did, and you'll notice that it still has plenty. I took away probably 3/4 of an inch of upward travel from the rear, and I didn't add a bump stop that makes it want to spring back up and then buck the whole truck forward on landings. But we're gonna find out. I will be doing a video of this thing jumping like I have done previously. I'll probably go back out to Area 51 and recreate some of those jumps that did eventually force those ball joints to get pushed inward until it popped off. So that's coming. Also, so is the speed test, and I will eventually do an overall thoughts of this truck. You know, spoiler alert, I love it, and I think it's 100% worth the money. But I'm not done doing mods to this thing. I'm gonna test this before I do anything else to it, because I feel like I should have some sort of order to how I do these videos in this series. So next thing is going to be the speed test, hopefully, if the rain will cooperate. But I am going to be putting a light bar or some kind of rear lighting on the back. And if you care to comment, let me know where I should put it. There's nothing really to mount it to here, but I could make something here. This is really robust, thick plastic. So I think if I had to drill here to add lights, it wouldn't be a problem. I don't want to put anything down here because it lands here a lot. So I think I'd probably just be setting myself up for a disappointment with an immediately broken light. So it's going to have to be somewhere in here, I think. I just haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do it. So if you have suggestions or products that you think will look good back here, I'm going to see what the 1-to-1 has and see if I can replicate that. But that's going to be for another video. So if you guys like this content, if you liked my pretty cheap way to probably fix the ball joint popping issue on the rear sway bar, let me know. Give me a like, share this video, comment, subscribe, all that stuff that YouTube rewards me for. And I'm going to keep this up. My channel is not going to be just this truck, but this is the newest thing I have, and it is somewhat new to the market. And I really want people to start enjoying the hobby and hopefully not having to pay as much. There's nothing wrong with the other brands, but if I find a brand that has a product that is really good and a whole lot of fun with good part support and availability, I'm going to talk about it. So thanks for coming by, and I'll see you in the next one.